Howdy pirates, Soulhex here, and just want to do a recap of my future builds for the Nemesis X. I've, since this raid, I've had a previous thought process of this, and it all changed in the raid. Uh, Especially how to drive these things and that stuff. Showed plenty of videos of how to drive them and lure them and that stuff, and it's really an interesting tactic. Can be done with the Saturn as well, just not as effective because it's shorter range. Um, but from what I understand, the problem is, you know, the Vipers. Those things are, high evade, and in the 100s they, take a lot of penetrative damage. Like they could tank a lot. So with that high evade and the missiles not doing as much damage, it's pretty hard to deal with them. Um, but from what I've seen, you do need. My combat speed currently is actually adequate. I'd probably suggest a little bit faster. Depending on the enemy, and also I only had three nemesis in my fleet, so you're only getting three stacks of what was it called? The chilling aura. So only got three stacks of the 15% combat speed reduction. So if I were to have a full fleet, that per se would help me a lot. So um, so I'm going to go through my build that I'm actually going to look into and why I'm choosing this build. So first, I want to go with what I have currently. So let's go with my Nemesis X, my flagship. Um, so I put resistors on it. The Hyper 30, I thought, because there was scatterguns in this, and the speed helps a lot. The only problem is that the splash damage reduction doesn't help as much. And the speed you can get, other things, with other specials or armors or weapons, which what have you. So that wasn't that big of a deal. You can always get, substitute that. The evade, I've noticed that the evade can help a lot. Um, well, not all the missiles can be countered. I don't have. I have proliferation 1, so I have 85% anti-missile accuracy, and I still seem to miss a lot, especially with the stonefish. So when the anti-missiles miss, the best bet would be your evade. Your evade can make or break what can you hit. So what will hit you. So if you have like a low evade of 41%, then it's not going to be good. But if you can, do evade higher than like say 50% or 60%, then it can help you a lot. So uh, that's one thing. So my combat speed right now is 73. My evade is 41, and I noticed that I do, the evade, I wouldn't hit me sometimes, but I would still get hit by the stonefish. Those things are pretty nasty. And it's all about driving and that stuff, and speed can help a lot. So I was barely running the Vipers with just three of them. So with four of them or five of them, I might have reduced their speed enough, but we don't. I don't know if they have any tactical field resistance, and so that would help them if they have tactical field resistance, so that they can, you know, combat that speed. So this is my build. I did do a sonic targeting for the stonefish, and during the raid I replaced it with with my siege battery. I think I had assault battery or something like that, and I did take a lot more damage from the buildings, but I can actually plan my attacks even better with the sonic targeting. Because I would see the stonefish, I could avoid the stonefish a lot easier, and then all that good stuff. So I'm still going to put on siege battery, assault battery or something like this on the hull. It just that was a temporary fix and a fix that helped. So I suggest at least one of your ships have sonic targeting, if not all of them, because of the retargeting it has. If you have Strike System 5, the retargeting does help because the stonefish don't like to surface, and they would be well in your range of attack before they actually surface. So for, maybe 1/4 of your attack range, you're not doing any damage to them because they're submerged. But they will, eventually surface, and then that's whenever you can hit them if you don't have retargeting. So, like I said, this one has retargeting true because of the sonic targeting as well as the optical tracking. And this is the one that I like, and I'm going to stick with. So let's go with, that's the flagship. Let's go with, oops. Come on now. My mouse is kind of wacky. Okay, so this is my regular Nemesis. As you can see, I have MGS3 on my flagship, but I only have Phalanx 4 on my regular Nemesis. And that's because they aren't the countermeasure hull. They don't get as much countermeasure accuracy as the flagship. So if you do boost the countermeasure on this and allow them to shoot, then that means that you're going to get reduced accuracy, and you're taking, the skill of what the flagship can do, because the flagship was made to counter. And obviously these only have 2 countermeasures. My ideal thought process with the Switchblade was to add corrosive survival, but it really adds a insignificant amount, so really you can switch that off with a missile, which I will do eventually. Basically the same setup, except I don't have the sonic targeting on this. The speed's all basically the same, and I, did hyper 30s. So that was, and the speed right here, it was good enough to outrun, but it became like a handicap sometimes because I wasn't fast enough to outrun the Vipers. I could still outrun them, but I wasn't fast enough to, escape them whenever I needed to. So there's a problem there. There's, a type of driving, kiting, situation there. So you want to have, a lot of speed, not too slow, but also not too fast. So that was my ideal plan, and it worked this raid, but I don't think it will work next raid. I think I'll probably need some more speed and a better build. So luckily I did get the proliferation 2, so I'll go with that. But I wanted to go with the upgrades for now. So upgrades, you get 30% combat speed to all Nemesis X in the fleet. So I ran the numbers, and you're going to get 1.02 combat speed for every upgrade Nemesis. So basically, my combat speed was 73. If I have 4 of them, it'll go up to 77 combat speed, or 77.08 technically, but that's beside the point. So we'll be faster on that one, and so we don't have to worry too much about it. So if we have 4 upgraded ones, we get 4 combat speed upgraded. So that's good. The mines, I don't know how that works. It's intriguing. It'll take some skill, I guess, to lay mines and that stuff, and how that works. But they last, I think, 20 seconds, and they do 600,000 damage. And if the flagship is upgraded as well, that boosts the damage to, I think, 1 million or something like that. So that's good. Penetrative reload, in my plan for building, this will help a lot, because I will have to take off my reload special, which was what was it called? This one, carbon fiber casing. Okay, yeah, yeah. So I'm going to have to take that off, and you lose reload on that. So that's a minus. Um, I don't know if I'll have enough upgrade kits to go to U3, but that 4% is will do good. And then the survivability will help a lot too. So just like the Saturn, this one gets a survival boost. So combat speed is 34 right now, so we're gonna get this up going. So my ideas was to up the evade because the missiles can't all be countered. So the next best thing to counter missiles is evade, and then after evade, it's your resistance. So what I'm going to try and do would be the penetrated resistors, and then instead of hyper 30, you could go with agility system 4. Now agility system 4 will help theoretically in the other assault targets as well. So already, let's look, it has a tactical field resistance of 70%. So the mega convoys, those cryo missiles, those fields will reduce they won't work as well. The slow resistance, if it does provide slow resistance on those cryo missiles on the mega convoys, it will reduce the slow on that missile, and then the stun resistance will theoretically help in the glowing nav relays, because those drones can stun you and perma stun you, unless, I'm not sure if it will or not with agility system 4, but it does have stun resistance, and that will help you if you want to do those old targets. So in a way, that helps you a lot, and it does 49.5%. Now the evade is 56. Compared to my old one, it is 41. So that's 15 evade, 15% evade better, and this just with one special change. So now the thing is, the speed isn't that good. So that's 63, and if we add 4, that's 67. So we're not up to the 73 combat speed that is what I have. So what next would be to do, where is it? Interception system. I saw some people with this on their build. I didn't think much of it at the time because I had hyper 30, and I was expecting it to be good. But this will give you 20% combat speed with penetrative damage. Now it's a little bit less than the fiber casing, 60%, and you have reload. But this one will help you ultimately if you have speed problems. So you won't do as much damage with as the carbon fiber casing, but you'll do the combat speed and penetrative damage. Just not enough, not as exactly the same as the carbon fiber casing, but it'll help you regardless. So then I would go with I don't have them yet, but you could go with penetrative battery, and that the turret defense is one thing that helps this, because the turret defense on here is 1800, whereas if you use assault battery, I think it's 900. Yeah, so this one's 900, so you get double turret defense with the limited assault, the penetrative battery, and you get more damage and building damage, so that will help you regardless. The only problem is it's limited, and it's where is it? And it's total weight, whereas the assault battery is weapon weight. So that's some bad things. They did do a recent change to it where it was 25% total weight, but they reduced it to 24% total weight, so that we can have some maneuverability with our building ships. So there's that. And based on how I was driving and how you want to drive, it all depends. I'm going with, see, there's also one thing that these are limited, and the only difference with the reactive armor and the researchable reactive armor is the structure and ship deflection it gives. but I'm going to go with Reactive Armor. Probably going to go with the researchable one because that might be faster build time, and you only get 50 structure deflection and ship deflection, and it's honestly not really worth it. That's like minuscule numbers compared right now. So that you have to look at though. The armor weight is 15% on that, and this one is 12%. So if you have weight restrictions and that stuff, or you're really heavy on your build, then I would probably not do Reactive Armor 3. Probably do the Reinforced Reactive Armor if you have weight restrictions, but I don't believe you will have to worry about that. And then last but not least, I would do Advanced Optical Tracking, because this has 60% penetrative accuracy and it's retargeting. Projectile speed, that's also plus on this, because I noticed that I have optical tracking on my Nemesis and they still miss a lot of missiles on the Vipers. Those Vipers have huge evade, so as much accuracy as you can will help. So the 60% accuracy will help a lot. And now for that, the combat speed is 70, so we're still slightly lower to 73, but we have yet to put armors on, and I have a special idea for the armors. I would suggest maybe the put on the ferrite armors for now. They're 1 second repair, and they do give both survivals. The armor points are good, but I'd only put 2 for now. I was thinking more on, because of my driving and my tactics, I try not to, if you could do it correctly, drive correctly, you won't get hit by scatterguns. So that's why I do heavy penetrative, so that whenever I do get hit by a missile, I don't get hurt that much. But needless to say, if I do get hit by scatterguns, then I'm going to get hurt by scatterguns. So there's options. You could change this to calm if you really wanted to, so that you have some corrosive survivability. But I'm based on my driving and that stuff, I want to do heavy penetrative. You could change the penetrative resistors to corrosive if you have any problems with that. But for this particular build, you do need a D5 EV. It gives you evade, and it also gives you combat speed and turn speed, so that will help you in the long run with the evade. So like that goes to 62% evade, and my original evade is 41, so we're over 20% evade difference right here. So that's really good. And then for the last slot, I would suggest a limited D6M or D6CO armor. If you're worried about corrosive, really that worried about corrosive, I would do D6CO. But my driving, if I think I could do a good enough job at driving, and I won't get hit by corrosive that much. So that's why I'm going low on corrosive. And then maybe whenever you do U3, you get that 5,000 pen survival. Then you could change some stuff, make corrosive resistors, or the D6CO armor if you want. And that's all up to you. But that's for that. Then we could go with just the missiles. Now I wouldn't do all of the Assault E missiles, because it does boost your turn speed. I would save those for your flagship, because the flagship is going to be a different build than the regular Nemesis, because it is a countermeasure hull. Go away. Oh, really? Okay. And then the last special, I would say, a countermeasure, Phalanx 4, because it does give 270. So maybe not. That 270 penetrative survival isn't really that much if we look at other stuff, like that armor gives 7. I guess you can. I mean, if you're worried about it, penetrative survival, then add that. But let's look at the survival of this thing. Okay, corrosive, it's 45%, so that's pretty low. So, but the pen is 258%. Oof, oof. So, let's see if we can fix that where it's corrosive. Better corrosive. It shouldn't be that hard. Just do a couple of corrosive resistors. And so let's see what that did. Okay, so corrosive went up to 66. That's, not too bad. Pen survival is still 200%, which that's interesting. So theoretically, you can do all these D6 COs and get that corrosive survivability higher and higher. Let's try that. Not like I'm going to really do that, but see, now it's up to 77%. So, and it reduces the pin survival to 214%. So, not that big of a change, but this can help. And it's the Reactive Armor 3 that helps so much with the pin survival, and that's basically what is the whole deal here. Is you're only going to theoretically get hit by missiles if you drive this correctly. So that's why the pin survival is so great to have. But if you do get hit by corrosive, it's also good to have that corrosive buffer. So let's look at the movement speed of this hull. So the evade 62, that's still good. 72. And that is without being upgraded or anything like that. So if all 4 of my Nemesis are upgraded, that's going to go up 4, so that's going to be 76 combat speed. So 3 combat speed higher than my current build. And I believe that will be enough to, be fast enough to outrun the Vipers, as well as if you have 5 in a fleet, slow down the enemy fleet fast, good enough. So, there's that. Isn't there a missile that does corrosive defense? It's a Stinger. Yeah, Stinger adds corrosive damage, corrosive survival 72. Oof. Yeah, that barely is anything. Okay, so I wouldn't do Stingers then. So that's my plan on build. I'm going to do the ferrites and the M armor. So let's go back to, and I'll put the link in the description, the code in the description, so that you don't have to worry about where to stop and that stuff. So let me open Notepad and save this sucker. Alright, so I got that sucker saved. I don't have enough. Ooh, look at that. Just barely. Okay, so that's for that hull. And the upgrade as well for combat speed should work with the flagship as well, since that's also a Nemesis X. It doesn't specify it, that says that, oh yeah, it works for flagship, but it says all Nemesis X, so that's one thing. So the combat speed that we have to go to 72, it has to be on the same on the flagship. So there's that. But the flagship is going to be built differently. So let's look at what the flagship has to offer. Okay, so flagship has turn speed for all Nemesis X, 50%. The mine layer, the reload, okay, and then it gets survival, the mine damage, to 1.2. Okay, so it goes up to 1.2, and mine's briefly slow, 50% slow. Wow, okay. So upgrading this sucker is going to be pretty good. Just by itself, the pin survival is pretty, good already. So it's the corrosive survival that you don't have to worry about. And the movement speed is 74. So to start with, I saw that MDS 3, it was just, fine, good enough for the whole target. You don't need any more than this. That's 30 salvos that you're shooting, unless you're getting hit by all the subs at once, then these suckers won't get overloaded. So what we also need, I want to put on it, is the, where's it at? Anti-missile proliferation, so that the accuracy is 90%. Currently my accuracy is 85%, so that will boost it a little bit, and not too much. And then the sonic targeting 4. So those two specials I want, and I need the anti-missile proliferation, and it's a want for sonic targeting. You don't have to have it, but it helps a lot. So there's that. So then we go with agility system for the evade. Or I wonder if I can do combat speed. Hyper 30. Let's try Hyper 30. This is just a test. Resistors. So that's 73. So that's 73 right there. If I do the Hyper 30s. But what I was wanting to do is agility system 4. And then the movement is 63. So let's add the interception system, and so that should bring me up to the current speed 70. Ooh, what's the difference? Oh yeah, the difference is the armor. Okay, so there's that. And then I could do optical tracking. Then we find in the snag. So this current build has no missile boost. So that's also a problem. So how do we fix that missile boost? Well, we'd have to take off one special. And if you take off agility system, you lose evade. You lose that stun resist, and you lose that slow resist. So it can cause problems. Interception system we take off, and it will slow us down and not give us damage. You need the alloy armor, the armor special. So you'd have to take off, one of these to get the missile boost here. Or we can do Strike System 5. Now, the problem with Strike System 5 is it has low turn speed. So my mouse is acting funky. Come on, mouse. Okay, so it has slow turn speed, so let's check out the turn speed and the speed right there. So 76, it's faster than my ship, so I don't want that. Let's make it less. So the movement is 69 right now. And so let's do the evade armor, because the purpose of this is we're trying to get to be the same speed, 72 right there. Alright, so evade armor plus the strike system 5 will make me 72, which is what the combat speed I wanted. And it gives a little bit of turn speed, so that's good. Now, the turn speed right here is really rough, 33, so how do we fix that? Well, they gave us the new missile that gives 10% turn speed, so I would suggest do those missiles. I'm not sure how many I have. I guess I only have 3. Okay. So those will help with a little bit. 43. Not as much as the other one, resistors and that stuff. So that's that. So this will have missile boosting, penetrative accuracy, and projectile speed. So projectile speed is a really good thing as well because um, the turret missiles are really fast, and you know sometimes their projectile speed makes it is too fast for the countermeasure. So this will give you the projectile speed to make your countermeasures faster, and therein counter the missiles because they are pretty fast. Um, let's see. That. So and then the sonic targeting makes it so that you're retargetable. So the missiles that you have on here will hit subs underwater, so you won't have to worry about that. But usually I use the Arc Nemesis for um, the lure, so that I'll send it in, take the subs up, and let my other Nemesis kill the subs. But if I do need to hit subs on the water, this can work as well. So, and then this one you could do as a carbon fiber casing. Just a. Oh wait, no, I can't because I have to have a salt battery. So don't forget about that battery. I almost did. So you won't have any missile booster damage or anything like that. Missile reload on this. This is mainly just like a spotter, or something like that. So you're not really relying on the damage of these missiles per se. You're relying on the countermeasures and the spotting. So that helps a little bit. And then the same goes for this. You could go with M or you could go with CO. And then for the slots, ferrite, folded ferrite comms. And so this is going to be what I'm going to build. Is this right here. So let's look at the defense. It's less evade, 56, because the resistor helps on that, and I don't have the resistor on. So that's one weakness to it, is it doesn't have as much evade. Then one is the turn speed, which I helped a little bit if you do all the assault missiles. Not so much though. Combat speed is 72, and it will get that for combat speed as well. So then we're looking at 76 combat speed. Turn speed is rough though. That's one problem. Come on, let's look at this. And so the flagship doesn't really have any flagship ability or anything like that, so it still gets the 15 combat speed reduction. And but other than that, that's my plan on what I would build, the Arc Nemesis. I could do a video on the Saturn, but I don't have any Saturns. I don't plan on building any Saturns. I mean, I will if they give me tokens for them, but that's not my goal to start building them. I will perfect the Arc Nemesis and the Nemesis X fleet, upgrade them all the way, and use those as raid hull and not have to rely on 2 raid fleets, because I tried that with the Shrikes and the Eradicators. My Eradicators are fully built, fully good. They're not fully upgraded though, but it help a lot if they're upgraded. But I wasted time on the Shrikes, which they do help. The Shrikes helped a lot, but with the recent splash damage reduction update, it pretty much killed my Shrike fleet. It made it obsolete. The tanking method, the auto method, and all that stuff. Those methods are obsolete now because of the splash damage reduction change. And that was because of the thrower and that stuff. But here, that's why I don't want to do the, try and make the Saturn, is because, for one, I won't have enough time based on what happened with the Shrikes. I will probably get only the flagship done, get the 4 blinks, and then it will be just the flagship doing most of the damage, or that stuff. So I might just do just that per se, but other than that, I'm not going to waste time on it. Um, I'll probably do it. My ideas, untested ideas, mind you, of the Saturn. So uh, that'll probably be my next video. But other than that, let me uh, copy this and put it below. And so that would be my Nemesis builds. I'm kind of wondering how well these mines will do. If it's like anything like the Artemis, which is, do I have Artemis? Is that skirmish? I do have one. Okay, so let's look at the Artemis, because this is the only other ship that has the mines. The Artemis mine upon death. So projectile speed 42, splash accuracy, range of 60, duration 8 seconds. So the ice field is 8 seconds. The ice field is actually really interesting. It stacks, unlimited stacks pretty much. Armor bypass, negative reload, oof, resonance trigger. So okay, so the mines have a combat speed of 4. Oof. And the mine damage type multi-shot 1, mine damage 1, range of 14. Reload time is 4. Mine capacity 90. So you have 90 mines. Max mine active mines 4. So you have 4 mines. So it makes me wonder, is there a cap of mines? So this has a mine cap of 90. Do we have a cap mine on the Nemesis? So that's really interesting. This is the only other ship that has mines, and it makes me wonder so much. But from what I understand, I think the Nemesis mines stay put. From what I kind of understand, it's more of a trap-based one, whereas this one is a seeking. It seeks the enemy out slowly for combat speed slow. But also, I've noticed that the subs have thermal, so does that mean that the subs will be able to see the mines, or what? I don't know. So we will see that when the time comes. I'll probably try and get a upgrade 2 out. I'm upgrading 1 right now. I'll probably start my upgrade 2 right after it and see how that works. That's going to be like 2 days, so have to wait for a little bit of time on that one. So other than that, I will probably do a video of that one on for the level 2 upgrade 2, and see how the mines work in like a cargo or something like that. I'm not sure. It doesn't say anything about how many mines is there. No. So, but yeah. I don't know. I hope this video has helped y'all, and you know, learn some stuff, and it'll help you in the future and building wise. But these are the drive holes. You can't auto targets with this sucker. You have to be, driving. And good driver, you want to mess up and it can hurt pretty bad. I've noticed. It's happened to me several times. So you have to get the feel of the target, you have to learn the target, and you have to, do the target the specific way. Or else you're going to get hurt, you're going to get a lot of damage, and all that stuff. So, which I've learned in the previous, targets. I tried to do this, basically how at the very beginning, just doing it my own way, but some other people have, did the lure tactic, and that is ideally the best one so far. It helps a lot. It works really well, and we will see probably next raid or maybe in VXP. I don't know. I'll have to test out in VXP, which I can uh, if I get my upgraded Nemesis out. I can see how it works in the VXP. So I'll do some more testing then. So until next time, pirates. Keep on trucking.